Hi, and welcome to this first Semi-Alliance Town Hall. My name is Thomas Sigmundstad, and I'm chairing the Alliance Steering Committee on behalf of Aker BP. With me today, I have Kjetil Gjersdal from Odfjell Drilling, Sean-Mark Lopez from Halliburton, and Mats Røsjø from Aker BP. Communication throughout the Alliance is something we want to improve on. Having a town hall like we have today is something we believe will improve how we communicate across the Alliance. And hopefully you as a viewer will share this view after the event. So if you bring up the agenda, Camilla. So today we will have some input and insight from all Alliance partners. We'll kick off going through the why and the what and the how, what we're trying to achieve with the Semi-Alliance. We will get input from all Alliance colleagues on these topics, how they view the Alliance and their experience so far. We will get some great insight from people in the field, both on what is working and what we need to improve on. And at the end, we will go into some question and answer session and closing. We already know we will not be able to answer all questions submitted within the allocated time, but we will continue to stream and answer questions out with the allocated time for those interested. All questions will be available in the recorded version. So let's move into the safer moment, Camilla, this time with Richard H. Horn.
Hello everybody, my name is Richard Eichhorn and I'm an offshore service leader working for one of the jackup alliances in Norway. I would like to take a moment of your time to have a brief chat about building a stronger safety culture, because keeping everybody safe is paramount. Through employee surveys and statistics, we found that it's essential to build a stronger safety culture which is more centered around trust and collaboration. In order to effectively build a strong culture, we must communicate, be transparent, and empower our people. Because for change to happen, it needs to start with you. And you need to make it personal. By personal, I mean that everybody needs to make a good effort to change their behavior. For example, follow up on an observation. And most of all, stay safe. As you can imagine, a safe culture means each and every one of us cares to keep everybody safe. This seems obvious, but sometimes during a busy day, it's so easy to forget. So how do we accomplish a stronger safety culture? Well, for example, through more visible leadership, lead by example, by building trust with colleagues, by actually following up and not only talk about it, and to foster communication and collaboration. As said before, it all starts with you and your actions. Now, what can we do to build a culture of trust with communication and empowerment? I believe this is something we can all do together as a team to strengthen our safety culture. By inspiring and motivating our employees. For example, during a hazard hunt, to give the task back to the foreman or the safety delegate. For our country leadership, to not only talk the talk, but also walk the walk. Our monthly meetings with frontline leaders, or a team lunch by PSL and function. We can empower individuals or groups. There's a strong focus on stop work authority, and recently an employee safety task force has been initiated. All by delegating and setting expectations and boundaries. We can build and value human capital. There's the foundation of leadership, and we are providing leadership training for our frontline leaders. And by coaching and mentoring our workforce. Maybe identifying role models and use them as coaches, as well as implementing training relating to mentoring and coaching. And there is the monthly KPI one-pager to identify opportunities. All these changes will require an effort. It will take time, and we all need to look at ourselves to engage and take action to change. I'm sure that together we can and will build a stronger culture centered on trust and collaboration to ensure we care for each other and stay safe. Thank you very much.
Many thanks to Richard for the insight and reflections on very important topics and fundamentals to our success and further development as an alliance. The question I've gotten the most over the past few years with regards to alliances in Aker BP is simply why. Why do we step away from the traditional and more conventional way of working? Aker BP was formed back in 2016 with a clear vision that still stands. Be the leading independent E&P company. This means bringing oil and gas to the market with lowest possible cost and carbon footprint. To underpin this vision, a simple strategy was formed consisting of 3 focus areas: execute, improve, and grow, built on a foundation of health, safety, and the environment. Execute is our bread and butter and is essential for improving and growing our company. If we get this wrong, we do not know what to improve or get the funds to grow. The question asked at the time was, how do we execute leading to improvements over time and growth of the company? Based on this, a 4-point agenda was formed to position Aker BP ahead of our competitors. We want to be at the forefront when it comes to digitizing our industry. We want to create a value chain based on lean understanding and culture. We want a flexible business model ready for growth and volatility. And not at least what we're talking about here today, we want to reorganize the value chain for strategic partnerships and alliances. The value proposition for alliances is to have longer and deeper relationships, that we through longer trust-based relationships create more value for all partners compared to historical transactional relationships. Avoid the cost of start-stops and build on continuous improvement over time. Essential to a longer-term relationship is to build trust and integrity between the partners. We need to have a common goal, play by the same rules, and not at least, we all need to create value for our respective companies. In order to achieve this, we have defined some fundamental principles which guides us in our journey. And it's a journey. It's a new territory to all of us, and to some degree, the path is defined as we walk it. In addition, we need to be able to react if we are in violation of our founding principle. If you look closer to these principles, huge focus is given to having safe operations through reduced risk and high quality in our deliveries, which again will result in improvements. Getting the oil and gas to the market faster is essential to all of us, not only from an operator perspective in increased production. The increased cash flow coming from this production will be invested and enable funding of new alliance projects going forward. We are not here to drill ourselves out of work. We are here to generate common values on a continuous basis over a longer period of time. Aker BP only operates in Norway, and historically the discovery on the shelf are becoming smaller and smaller. In order to produce these economically, we need to come down on cost as well as place the wells in such a manner we can drain resources optimally. In order to lower cost, we need to reduce waste in our value chain. This will become more and more critical as we move ahead with the alliance. And it is not about doing things faster, it is about doing things smarter. You want to remove waste, but you might want to spend more time on certain aspects as it increases the quality of the delivery. As a result, you deliver on lower cost per barrel compared to what has been delivered historically. So how do we do it? It's not straightforward and it will take time. But I have to say, we have gotten off to a great start. As an operator, we have to wear 2 hats. One as the duty holder, defining the why and the what, and one as the equal partner, defining the how we will do things. At the same time, the alliance partners need to step up to the plate and proactively participate in the how. This has to be done through common drivers and trust-based relationships, commercial models that pull us all in the same direction. And I do know that the first version of the MLC have not made this easy from the start. This will change. Having a culture based on one for all for one philosophy and best company for the job to increase efficiency and quality and come down on cost. Where we seek opportunities that will create value for all of us through smarter ways of working, investments in new technology, investments in competency building within our people, or through strategic areas like the green shift giving low carbon solution as example. This is a journey as mentioned, but has just started. We have learned a lot so far, but we need to move forward to improve on where we are today. The rest of this session will focus on this and give you insights to what has been done as well as what is possible. And as a teaser, let's get some insight to what it is like to work in an alliance. Camilla, please run the next video.
My favorite part about working in the Alliance is the common goal mindset. So instead of every company making decisions based on what is best for them, we now make decisions that would bring the whole Alliance closer to a successful well delivery.
For me, the best thing is the new possibilities, the interaction with all involved parties, that we invest together, taking risks together, and win and fail as one team.
One of the best things for me when working on this alliance with Aker BP and Halliburton is that we work as one team. We know each other, that will make it more efficient. One team.
A good alliance makes it much easier to have a good safety standard, easier to communicate, and we will be better equipped to handle changes in operation.
The best thing about working in the Alliance is the teamwork, friendship, and the efficiency we accomplish.
My favorite thing about the Alliance is the people. The one team attitude and high performance, all made possible by a highly tuned and cooperating Alliance team, all working towards the same goal.
For me, the best thing is really honesty. You know, we treat each other with complete transparency, and that's a big change compared to what we used to in a non-alliance model. But honesty is also the main challenge because it's not all the time easy to be completely transparent in some situations where things don't go exactly as planned.
The main challenge is to break down the old-fashioned and sometimes invisible boundaries between the involved parties.
The fact that we are still working on a conventional rig contract, trying to fit that into the Alliance thinking.
The main challenge may be to keep good communication between the companies involved in the operation and time each part to be able to stay ahead of schedule at all times.
It is challenging, but feasible to obtain an alliance structure that results in the right behavior for actually delivering as low cost per barrel as possible.
The challenge of working in alliance is probably changing the mindset to understand that we are all in the same boat.
My contribution is clear messages, creativity and active participation towards more efficient operations.
My contribution is to make sure everybody that arrives to rig are fit for fight, and I also do my best to make sure that they stay like that for the whole trip.
One team is not about what one person can do alone, but what we all can do together.
For me, one team aboard this rig is just perfect. Everybody knows me, I know everybody, we have good communication and we help each other all the time.
We feel like a big team. We work together and we get to know each other and we help each other. And that's also a part of the alliance culture as I see it.
One team for us has become a mindset and a way we work. And we work as one team regardless of what company we are hired in.
The one team approach offshore allows for a shoulder-to-shoulder working environment for the common goal, helping each other no matter who we work for.
By working together towards a common goal as an alliance, makes it easier to trust each other and to be transparent. We get to be more creative as a team, and this type of empowering environment makes the job more safe, and that benefits everyone involved.
Thank you.
Some great reflections there from members of our alliance, so thank you. Both on what's good and what we need to work on to become better going forward. And Kjetil, as an essential part of framing the alliance some time back and participation to where we are today, I guess your own and Odfjell's experience so far reflects more than one side to the story.
Yeah, thank you, Tommy, and hello to my fellow semi-alliance colleagues. I'm going to talk to you about what we in Odfjell Drilling, as a rig owner and as a driller, see as the main differences to be part of such an alliance compared to a traditional regime. So if you can put on the first slide, Camilla, I think the first slide here with the alliance logo and the great deep sea Nordkapp in the middle says a lot of what we are striving towards and achieving together. Something that I'm very proud to be a part of together with the rest of you. I am happy to say that I have been involved in the SEMI Alliance since its birth. I believe it was in 2016. We first started our initial talks, and we then spent most of 2017 planning and discussing the foundation and framework, which eventually ended up in the agreements and setup that we have today. This was not straightforward because, let's face it, we work in a rigid and traditional business. It is highly capital intensive for everybody involved, often leading to involved parties being reluctant to explore new setups. And most of us, myself included, have the majority of our experience and have been trained in a regime where the oil company basically were God and the rig owner and service companies were suppliers in a strict contract regulated regime. So if you go to the next slide, these traditional models normally involve a large number of different companies supplying a limited service or maybe a specific equipment. Of course, such a setup intensifies each company to focus on themselves rather than delivering a complete well as safe and cost efficient as possible. And if you go to the next slide, that is exactly what we are changing with the SEMI Alliance. There are much fewer companies involved. Each company delivers more services, but also comes with a bigger responsibility for each company. And it narrows each partner's chance to self-focus. Also, a very important part of this is that it is a long-term relationship. This agreement is for 5 years, with the possibility to extend for another 5 years. And to work so closely over a long time as we do in the Alliance, that gives us a chance to get to know each other. It gives us a much better understanding of what creates values for the partners. And it gives us a great opportunity to develop our products and services together with the Alliance partners. When we make our strategies, every year, this is a great help for us. It helps us focus on the right technologies, what is important for the Alliance. It helps us focus on the right delivery models. And also, it is very rewarding for our people involved in the Alliance as we get to see the bigger picture of what we do, not only from a driller's perspective. This long-term perspective is also important for our company and not the least our employees, because it has provided security in a time which no doubt has been and still are challenging for our industry. There are aligned incentives, and that is a huge part of this. We don't live solely off day rates anymore. A substantial part of our compensation are linked towards how we perform as a team compared to the rest of the industry. All semi-alliance partners have to perform in order for us to optimize our income. And this creates a real one-time drive across companies and a desire for everybody to succeed. That being said, it has been difficult and quite complex to find sort of a perfect compensation model that covers all aspects. And maybe we will never find it. Maybe it will never be perfect. But I think through adjustments and continuous improvement, we are taking steps, and we have come a long way today compared to where we were 2 years ago. A vital part of this is trust and openness. There needs to be trust between the alliance partners. That goes for onshore, it goes for offshore. And the fact that we want the same people to show up for work every time, that helps create trust, because that is not something that can be ordered. It has to be earned over time. But I'm very happy that I can honestly say that we have never worked in a setup where we are so close and transparent as we are in the SEMI Alliance. And this has been very rewarding in our continuous improvement and strategic cooperation. And it has given us the necessary predictability which we need to develop our company further. So if we go to the next slide, and just a click also, So to sum this up, a traditional model is basically a modified charter contract where you rent the vessel and send it from A to B. You rent out a rig with a crew, and you act upon orders from the oil company. Often combined with a very strict command and control setup. This encourages a limited responsibility, and it encourages you to focus on yourself and what's best for each company. And if there's no progress in the well, that was historically a good time for us to do maintenance on the rig. And if we had to re-drill a section, do a sidetrack or something like that, it was more backlog. But if you give it another click, that is exactly what we want to avoid with the alliance. Being part of the alliance is very much a one-team approach. Fewer companies, we take the wins and the losses together. We have an open and transparent dialogue. And the best person for the job principle is vital, not for which company the person works for. So whatever makes what's best for the alliance is what's the main thing to do. If you give it another click, this is the alliance has pretty much been like a marriage. And as in many marriages, this marriage also has a baby. That baby is Deepsea Nordkapp. I can say that we could never make this project happen if it wasn't for the alliance, due to the financial environment and the market that we were operating in. The alliance provided the necessary predictability to be able to realize this, and quite counter-current in a very tough market. This is really the alliance rig. It's a fantastic drilling machine. It's got all the bells and whistles. And if you give it a click, and one more as well, I'm also very proud to say that the rig has now picked up speed. It is now delivering world-class performance. And that is the effort of the alliance that made that happen. And I guess it's fair to say that it's not a baby anymore, but a strong young member of the semi-alliance. So I'm really looking forward to creating more value together for all of us going forward. And now we're going to see a video about Deepsea Nordkapp. Thank you.
Colleagues and partners, I'm pleased to present this video showing a number of great achievements and developments over the last years. All this made by our committed and competent semi-alliance team on Deepsea Nordkapp. Together we are well into the journey of creating value for our owners and shareholders. Enjoy the video.
Here we got the Halliburton cement unit. What makes this cement unit special is the digitalization process. We are upgrading the cement unit so it can be operated from onshore, remote operation center. Another upgrade that we have done here on Deepsea Nordkapp is top dive cementing.
We just started using these handheld devices on board the Deepsea Nordkapp, which is a fantastic tool for us to use. We can use it out in the field. We can take our work with us out in the field. We can take pictures. We can look at operational procedures. We can cooperate. We can bring it to the drill floor and out on deck. So it's really been a great addition to our toolkit.
And this is just the beginning of what we can achieve together in the future. We are set up to transform drilling and well together. Thank you.
What a great rig, and I'm very pleased to be a part of what it's doing. I also happen to know the latest sponsor of it. Sean Mark, you moved to Norway and into your current role after the alliance was put in place. I know you've been instrumental to the focus Halliburton has given to leadership and behavior within the alliance, and how we all need to work together to be successful. So why don't you share some of your thoughts and insight with all of us?
Thank you, Tommy, and good morning, everybody. It's a great opportunity for me to share with you some positive effect of working in our alliance model. Let me first tell you that our alliance model is impacting everything we are doing, from safety to successful well delivery. And we are doing it respecting our alliance core value, which are empowerment, trust, transparency, and collaboration. It doesn't come naturally, and we have to practice every day, all of us. So let me first be very clear. Safety has always been and will continue to be the first priority in the Aker BP operation. In my experience, I have never seen any compromise on safety, either on account of quality or productivity. So let me share with you some positive effect of our alliance model on safety. And we're going to move to the safety slide. We commit to safety and collaboration, building a culture of trust with good communication and empowerment where people are at the center of it. We keep people safe and we help people care. So why? Why do we need to focus on our alliance culture? Because first, we have the mission to help our people to care. Caring about others, about our tools, our processes, and our business in general. We also have the mission, all of us, to keep our people safe by watching for each other. So, how are we doing this? First, through visible leadership. And this is probably the most important piece for me, leading by example and walk the talk. Then by building trust. And this is something we have been very successful in 2020, improving trust through the alliance. As I always say, trust is the conduit of psychological safety. In fact, without trust, there is fear. Fear to act, fear to speak, fear to think, fear to give any feedback. And without feedback or comment, there is no opportunity for improvement. We need to do what we say. And by the way, sometimes it's better to not say if you don't act on it. I remember a great leader who was telling me, word matter. And the last one is really fostering communication and collaboration. We need to have an open communication to reach clear and common goals and get better solutions. So what do? Well, we inspire, we motivate, we empower all individuals, we value people, and we coach and mentor, and so much more. I like to recommend again all of you to read our Alliance Culture booklet and to practice on our value on a daily basis, all of us. The more we act on our value, the more we practice on our soft skill, the better our safety performance will be. Now let's move to the second example of the positive effect of the Alliance model on service quality, or I can say our performance. And our Ready to Run initiative, we call it R2R, is a good example of positive effect from the Alliance. The ambition is to have Ready to Run drilling BHA supported by implementing new technology. It can be software or hardware or new processes. The value proposition is to transfer tools from the boat directly to the rig floor, already preset, pre-programmed, pre-assembled, and pre-tested. This will reduce personal exposure to the red zone, reducing activity on the rig floor, meaning reducing the risk of safety incident. It will also improve the reliability of our tools, as we can test the assembly offline in a much better environment. We can also program the tool offline properly and just switching on the tools before running all. It will reduce rig time by reducing the time of assembly and test on the rig floor to almost nothing. And finally, it will strengthen the Alliance synergy by improving total well delivery. In conclusion, I would say that this Alliance initiative will improve speed, quality, performance, and cost, working together in a unified solution. Our last example is around the quick adoption of new technology from the Alliance. Norway operation, through the support of the Alliance, have helped the development of EarthStar technology and demonstrated the value of it through a quick adoption. EarthStar is the first real-time 3D ultra-deep resistivity service. In simple words, I would say it is like we turn the light on while drilling and we are illuminating a much larger volume of the reservoir. And we can really see much more what's going on around us, much more than before. This will help us navigating through the reservoir to find the sweet spot, getting more reservoir contact, and ultimately more production. We can say today that we are drilling to produce, meaning that we are maximizing the pay zone. In fact, on a recent well on Bass, on Deep Sea Nordkapp, the EarthStar helped identify a decreasing reservoir quality with shorter distance to the oil water contact. The data helped decide the completion strategy, stopped unnecessary drilling, and increased the potential oil production. So in conclusion, I would like to say that the Alliance model helped to adopt new technology quicker because of the trust environment that we have implemented so far. But the Alliance model is helping everything we are doing. As I said, from safety to full well delivery. We need to continue to practice on our model, on our value every day. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you all very soon face to face.
Thank you, Jean-Marc, for sharing this insight. Again, some fundamentals for the continued progress and success of the Alliance. So from the videos and input so far, you probably noticed the one team focus the relationship and trust that is needed to make the alliance work. An important part of building the trust is what makes people proud. I want to show you some example of what is achieved in the alliance. So Camilla, please run the next video.
The sum of what we have achieved working as an alliance is well known throughout the industry, and I'm personally quite proud of being part of it.
We all work together to push performance, reduce costs, and setting new industry standards.
One of the one team achievement has been the increased focus on standardizing on equipment to reduce inventory and low cost. The number of different packer types has been reduced from 20 to 7. And we are now starting to measure our performance against the standardization initiative to demonstrate the value this brings to all Alliance members.
The project I'm most proud about in the Alliance is the dual drilling project we did with Deep Sea Stavanger last year. That was a project that required all of the alliance partners to step well outside their comfort zone to unveil what's really possible when you put together a high-performing team with the best drilling rig.
We drilled 1,000 meters in just under 6.5 hours, an English mile in less than 12 hours, and the nautical mile was drilled in only 13 hours and 38 minutes.
The delivery I'm most proud of in the Alliance is probably the well Alve Northeast. This was a challenging well for the Marine, as this was done on DP and in difficult weather conditions on Haltenbakken.
That's definitely to be a contributor to the delivery of the Boa Attic South, a trilateral well on Alvheim, delivered 15 days before our budget, and by that, the quickest lateral well in the area.
It has to be the dual drilling campaign that we have performed with Deep Sea Stavanger, both drilling in main and Oaks and also BOP running offline.
In a very short amount of time, we came up with a solution on the cementing side to deal with high CO2 content that we expect to see when we're drilling stainless steel in the Barents Sea. We work very closely with two service companies, and one of them being, of course, our alliance partner Halliburton, to deliver a technology suitable for this project in a very short amount of time.
We win when we use the right person for the job, regardless of what color the boiler suit is. And the best teamworks come from people working independently towards one common goal.
By securing ownership and a stronger commitment by the onshore teams and offshore teams towards the common goals we are setting.
We can be best on learning. We can make each other great. We can ensure quality in everything we do. Common goals, predictability, and team continuity will lead to success. Understand what good looks like. We win when all alliance partners make good profit.
The alliance is like any other team. We win and we lose together. And only by acting like a true one team, we can fulfill our potential and be simply the best and most attractive team in the world.
We can win together as an alliance based on one for all and all for one principle.
Fantastic. Some great examples of our achievements, and makes me proud to be a part of it. So well done, everybody. However, Mats, going forward, we still have our challenges and opportunities. And what's your take on this going forward?
Yeah, one thing is challenges in going forward. I think it's a pretty challenging time we're in as well. And I wish I had a crystal ball to predict what's going to happen in the future. I think one thing that is very clear is that improvement is extremely important for us, not only as an alliance, but for the whole industry. What we have learned from the pandemic time is that the oil market is volatile, and we need to be prepared for these situations. We are seeing increasingly difficulty getting funding, both for the rig companies, for the oil companies, and for the service companies. And we also have the ESG coming on to us from the society, which really asks us to reduce our emissions and convert into the green shift. So, in essence, this means that our competition just got harder for all of our parties in the alliance. And, that describes the challenge we're facing. So that is the macro and everything around us. But actually, going forward, the biggest challenge and opportunity lies within our own alliance. It's actually improving ourselves, not worrying about everything around us, but actually what we can do to ourselves. And in this Alliance Steering Committee and in the Alliance Management Team, we have set up areas of strategic importance to us, which revolves around digitalization, software, technology, which is more the hardware part, the green shift, which is around emission reduction, organization, how do we build a one team, commercial, how do we make sure that the commercial models benefit all parties, and also the early phase planning, looking more into the future. And basically, all these areas are kind of interacted in a way. And one good example of that is the green shift initiatives we are running and planning at the moment. Optimizing energy consumption on our rigs is something we have to consider going forward. And that will require probably elements from all of these areas. It requires software to optimize algorithms. It requires hybrid technology to reduce and recapture energy. And then basically also the organizational awareness to pick up and create all these initiatives. It requires incentives between the companies. How do we split the benefit from it? And even early phase planning. How do we get access to land from shore, for example, in the long run? So actually, this all hangs together. So, in essence, what are the biggest challenges and opportunities going forward? Basically, we need to be the best versions of ourselves. We need to start with the man in the mirror every day and ask ourselves, what can I do to improve my contribution to the team? We need to elevate our performance as always. We have proven in the past that we are good at improving. We are doing stuff we never thought was possible even 5 years ago. We're doing now. But that is only good enough today, and we will continue that journey. But we have the fundament, and we need to deliver according to performance first, safe, high-quality wells, and with high productivity. I think also the sustainability of all of our companies, our industry, and the value chain is important to remember. And I would urge everyone to remember Business 101, which says everybody makes money, and that means the assets make money when they ask us to drill a well. The alliance partner make money when we perform. And basically, we're also standing up to the society and reducing emissions as they want us to. So with that, I will hand back to you, Tommy.
Yeah, thank you, Mats. Plenty of things to work on going forward. And I'm pleased to notice that we are still playing to win. Okay, I'll just say that thank you everybody for watching, and have a nice day.